Welcome student. Starts with the fourth class of the diuretics, which is a potassium sparing diuretics. Okay. This example of potassium sparing diuretics are spironolactone, trimeterans and the amiloride. The potassium sparing diuretic act in the collecting tubule to inhibit the sodium reabsorption and potassium excretion. The potassium sparing diuretics are used along primarily when aldosterone is present in excess. Again, the major use of potassium sparing agent is in the treatment of hypertension, most often in combination with the thiazides. It is extremely important that patients who are treated with any potassium sparing diuretics be closely monitored for the potassium level. Exogenous potassium supplementation is usually discounted when potassium sparing diuretics therapy is instituted. Now in that the decrease the potassium excretion, increase the sodium level and the volume of the urine. Now first one is the aldosterone antagonist, which is a spironolactone. That the site and mode of action. This spironolactone, which is the aldosterone antagonist, and this aldosterone is a adrenomineralocorticoid responsible for the maintenance of the electrolyte balance in the body. This spironolactone is a synthetic steroid that antagonizes aldosterone at intracellular cytoplasmic receptor site, and this spironolactone receptor complex is being inactivated, and that is it is prevent translocation of the receptor complex into the nucleus of the target cell, and it cannot bind to the DNA, and these result in a failure to produce protein that are normally synthesized in response to the aldosterone, and their mediator proteins normally stimulate the sodium potassium exchange site of the collecting tubule. Thus, a lack of mediator protein prevents the sodium reabsorption and therefore potassium and hydrogen secretion. Now these spironolactone are the synthetic steroidal lactone. Okay, these are the synthetic steroidal lactones which are competitively antagonize the effect of the aldosterone. They are the competitively effect the aldosterone and the deoxycorticosterone on tissue, and particularly at the distal tubule ion exchange site. And one of these compound, which is the spironolactone, produces the considerable loss of the sodium and the water and diminish the loss of the potassium and hydrogen. It means that they block the loss of the potassium. These ionic effect of the aldosterone are the antagonists. Now the action is the in most edematous status, blood vessel of the aldosterone are high, which is instrumental in the retaining sodium. When spironolactone is given to a patient with elevated circulating level of aldosterone, the drug antagonizes the activity of the hormones, resulting in retention of the potassium and excretion of the sodium. Again, the patient who have a significant circulating level of aldosterone, such as those of the Addison's disease, no diuretic effect of the drug occur. Next one, in common with the thiazide and the loop diuretics, the effect of the spironolactone depends on the renal prostaglandin synthesis. Eplerenone is a new aldosterone receptor antagonist with action comparable to those of the spironolactone. Eplerenone may have less endocrine effect than the spironolactone. Next one is the therapeutic uses. In that the therapeutic uses First one is the diuretics. Although the spironolactone has a low efficacy in mobilizing sodium from the body in comparison with the other drugs, it has been useful property for causing the retention of the potassium. Because of this latter action, spironolactone is often given in conjugation with the thiazide or the loop diuretics to prevent the potassium excretion that would otherwise occur with these drugs. It is the diuretic of choice in patients with the hepatic cirrhosis. Second one is the secondary hyperaldosteronism. This spironolactone is the only potassium sparing diuretic that routinely used along to induce a net negative salt balance. It is particularly effective in the clinical situation associated with the secondary hyperaldosteronism. Again, for the heart failure, spironolactone prevents the remolding that occurs as compensation for the progressive failure of the heart failure. Again, useful for the nephrotic syndrome. Next one is the pharmacokinetics. In that, spironolactone is completely absorbed orally and is strongly bound to the protein. It is rapidly converted to an active metabolite, candrinone. And the action of the spironolactone is largely due to the effect of the candrinone, which has mineralocorticoid blocking activity. And the spironolactone induces the hepatic cytochrome P450. Next one is the adverse effect or the toxicity. Spironolactone frequently causes the gastric upset and causes the peptic ulcer. Because it chemically resembles some of the sex steroids, spironolactone may act at receptor in other organs to induce the gynecomastia in the male and may ensure irregularities in the female. Therefore, the drug should not be given at high dose on a chronic basis. Again, it is most effective employed in mild edematous for which it is given for a few days at a time. At the low dose, this spironolactone can be used chronically with few side effects. They cause the hyperkalemia, nausea, lethargy, mental confusion may occur. Second one is the triamiterens and the amiloride. Okay, this triamiterens, which is a non-steroidal compound which produces spironolactone-like effect by acting on the distal tubule that increases the sodium chloride and bicarbonate loss and conserve the potassium. But it is not a aldosterone antagonist. Now, first one is the spironolactone. This spironolactone is the aldosterone antagonist, but this triamiterens is not an aldosterone antagonist. Okay. Next one is the amiloride. This amiloride is an organic base, has a renal action like the triamiterens, and the mode of action is incompletely understood. And again, it has no aldosterone antagonist activity. And these triamiterens and the amiloride are equally effective in inhibiting the distal tubule sodium potassium exchange mechanism. Both the triamiterens and the amiloride are frequently used in the combination with other diuretics, usually for their potassium sparing properties. For example, is the much like spironolactone, they prevent the loss of the potassium that occurs with the thiazide and the furosemide. And the side effect of triamiterens are the leg cramps and the possibility of increase the blood urea nitrogen as well as the uric acid and the potassium retention. Now up to we will finish the up to that completed the potassium sparing diuretic.